Hello, and welcome to the Working While Homeschooling podcast, the podcast for workingwhilehomeschooling.com, where our mission is to help homeschooling parents make money and maybe even have a career while continuing to homeschool and without losing their sanity. My name is Julie, and I'm your host and resident career coach today. I want to thank you all for joining us and listening in. I hope you're doing well. I want to welcome you all to season 2 of our podcast. It's been a long time coming. I'm very, very excited that we've gotten this far. And we're just going to do a quick update on kind of where we're at today and what's going on to catch you all up. So I know it kind of mysteriously disappeared in June. So I wanted to give you guys a little hush. We've actually moved. And if you're watching the video, behind me, you'll see the skyline of Singapore. We've actually moved overseas due to my spouse's job. And so middle of April, I was kind of frantically thinking, we are never going to move. We don't have paperwork. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have packers organized. And literally 4 days before we thought we were going to pack out, and I had frankly completely given up, we got this email that, oh, by the way, they'll be there Monday at 9. We had a 4-day notice to get our house ready for the packers to arrive. It was insane. So yes, I very, very quickly packed out of my house the last week of April, and we spent about 6 to 7 weeks staying with family and doing kind of like what I call the grandparent tour, where we just drove from D.C. through Tennessee to Alabama, up into central Alabama to visit other family, back to South Alabama, down to Miami to visit some family up there, all the way back up to D.C., picked up a cat, and then got on a plane. So it was a crazy, crazy couple of months. We arrived here mid-June, and we have finally gotten settled. I finally have internet. It's not such great internet quite yet, but I've got it. And we're just, kind of getting back in the swing of things. And so I was able to pre-record several podcasts to kind of tide you guys over for a bit while all of that was happening and we had a break. So now that we're at season 2, and it's the first day of August in 2019, and I hope you guys are having a fabulous, fabulous time. And this will be kind of going live in a couple of days, but I just wanted to kind of check in with you guys and let's talk about what we did last year and kind of what's up. We had a really good season 1, honestly, and I was very proud, and I really enjoyed talking to all of you. This has been such fun for me. I'm totally geeking out on this kind of thing. So in case you want to geek out on this with me, I wanted to kind of share with you some fun facts about the podcast and how it went last year. So beyond the first 2 episodes, because I assume if everybody's checking out a new podcast, they're going to listen to maybe 1 or 2 episodes. So beyond episode 1 and 2, the most popular podcast was episode 7, which was discussing the mental load of working moms. And that's a really great episode if you haven't checked that one out. Then beyond that, our next 3 most popular episodes were episode 5, Speaking to Hannah, episode 16, Talking to Jen, and episode 21, Talking to Melissa. And then after that, we had coming in with the, getting the kids to help around the house and everyone else's podcast. So we just had a really great crowd of people last year. I had a lot of fun with it. We've had some really good, interesting conversations. So if you didn't get a chance to check out season 1, I highly recommend it. It's a great season. But now we're moving into season 2. And season 2 is going to look like a lot of fun. I have a lot of stuff going on in the Working While Homeschooling world this year. A lot of huge ideas and kind of dream list of things I'd like to accomplish this year. And so hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys. Kind of just an update on where I'm at. Since we moved overseas, I have dropped my extra contract that I was doing in addition to my personal coaching business. So I had my personal coaching business, and then I had this contract gig that I was doing about 20-ish, 25-ish hours a week. And that was kind of the steady pay while I was building my business and kind of doing my business. Because anybody who's run their own business knows money ebbs and flows, and business comes in and it's an avalanche, and then it's dry season and what, all of that. And when you're trying to pay rent, your landlord doesn't like to hear about dry seasons. So I had a contract on the side that I did for a number of years. Good company, loved the work. But I was there with them for about 6 years, and it was kind of time to go. And I had the chance to do that now that we've come to Singapore. It's frankly going to be really difficult for me to have individual coaching calls now. So because the time zone difference is just insane. So I'm reserving my minimal coaching hours for my private clients. So I have like maybe 2 slots a day, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, that I can do with my private clients, and that's about it. So I'm going to keep my private client business going with my kind of outside of homeschooling coaching business. And then I'm going to focus on working while homeschooling this year. I'm very, very excited to do this. I have a long list of things I want to learn, a long list of resources I need to add to the website, as far as, just my list of like building your business resources and working from home resources. And I want to build, I just have so many ideas. My homework list of things to add is probably about a zillion pages long. Other projects I have in hand this year is, of course, I want to master ConvertKit because that's what I'm using for my mailings. I want to master Teachable. That's where I'm hosting all of my classes. I want to master podcasting, of course, and learn as much about those 3 things as I possibly can this year. I'm having a very good time with Teachable, by the way, if you're considering that. I really love it. And I'm starting to like ConvertKit, to be honest. I'm not very good at it yet. I've only done a couple kind of minimal at things so far because I just didn't have time to really deal. But I've been kind of investigating it. I am ready to really master that now. So those are my kind of 3 learning projects for the year. I want to continue with the blog, and I've got a lot of resources to add to that. I've got a lot of posts I want to add coming up. I'm going to be doing at least one more speaking event this year, an online speakers conference. I'll be announcing that very soon. I've got to get the paperwork turned back in. But I've been accepted for one more speaking conference this year. Now, my dream is I would like to host my own Working While Homeschooling online conference. I don't know if that's going to happen in 2019. I might not be able to pull it off in time, to be honest. Maybe I'll be able to pull that off in early 2020. But that is kind of the big, hairy, audacious goal of mine that I have not, I'm not really sure how much goes into it, to be honest, but we're going to try it. We're going to find out. It's a cool idea. I'd love to have, honestly, a virtual job fair attached to it, have people, both homeschooling companies who are looking to hire people have a lot of virtual job fair at that. Other virtual companies that cater to virtual employees, telework, for things like virtual jobs and things like that. I would love to have those kind of organizations, sponsor the podcast, sponsor the conference, sponsor this podcast, but also be a part of it and maybe have speakers engaged and things like that. So I have big, crazy ideas. I have no idea how I'm going to implement them yet, but they're out there. I also have at least 2 book ideas that I'm in the middle of. One of them I have done probably a third of the draft, and that's all about how to work from home and keep your sanity. Pretty much literally what we talk about on this blog and on this podcast every single day. So that is a very, very, I had to kind of pause it because of the move. But I do have crazy amount of ideas collected. I just have to actually get them all down. So those are my big ideas coming up. I'm also planning to record and add a bunch more courses to my Teachable site. So if you've checked it out there, so far live on the Working While Homeschooling Teachable site, I have 2 courses. One of them is setting goals and actually achieving them. And the second one is planning your entire homeschool year all at once. So that is literally my own personal method. That's how I did it because that's assumed how you were supposed to. Now, when I first started homeschooling a billion years ago, and with my oldest who was going into kindergarten, I honestly didn't know a single soul that was homeschooling. I was kind of just on my own little island attempting homeschool. And well, my sister was a teacher, and I knew that every year, the week before school, she, they had the teacher in service week, a week before school started, and she set up her classroom and set up all of her lesson plans that week. And so I just assumed that's what you were supposed to do, is to pre-set everything up a week before you begin. So I did, and that's what I did. And I've kind of followed a very similar pattern, a very similar method every single year. And frankly, I didn't realize for a number of years that that's not what everybody did. I just thought that's kind of what everybody did. Nope, it's not. And when I talk to people about me doing this, their eyes just bug out like, oh my God, that's insane. And it seems like this big, monumental and crazy task. And I'm not going to disagree with that, to be honest, but I will say, it makes the rest of my year so much easier. And it's really so much easier than it sounds. So I've recorded a class about that. It's 2 hours long, sad to say, but it is about 2 solid hours of video going along with, I also have included all my own personal spreadsheets that I've created for myself. So there is a weekly lesson plan that you can kind of adapt for your own family and then copy it. So you have 52 copies or however many weeks you do homeschool. And then you kind of just fill in boxes. It's very, very easy. I've also created a lesson plan sheet in case you create your own lesson plans. If you're creating your own lessons, your own program, you can do it all on kind of one page and kind of organize your thoughts. And I've also added in my logs. So I have my attendance log, my book logs, my class logs. So like if honestly, if you had to prove that you've done quote unquote PE in your portfolio, well, you can list the dates. You just, make a class for PE or physical education and you just put the dates that you did that. So easy. It sounds insane, but honestly, guys, it's an Excel spreadsheet is the easiest thing on the planet. So that course is up on my Teachable. And since we're in the middle of August, and if you're you're kind of in that homeschool planning mode, I would really recommend you check it out. Not just because it's my course, but because honestly, guys, this is my absolute sanity saver. And I said this in an email earlier this week, but literally this is like the one kind of thing, like stress anchor for me. And it's the thing when I'm stressed out, I hold on to. Okay, that's the anchor for me. My house might collapse around me. Honestly, the dishes might, the whole house might go to pot. My job over here might be going insane, but at least homeschool is done. At least homeschool is done. So I just take a couple of weeks and kind of organize my year. Some years it's easier than others, especially when you get those homeschool curriculums that literally have the lesson plans already prepped for you on the front pages, and all you have to do is kind of copy down what they put in their boxes. So easy. This year I kind of have half and half. I have half easy and half not. And frankly, I have some of my curriculum is still back ordered, so that's not going so well. But anyway, I definitely recommend you check out that course. Throw your questions at me. Let me know what you think about that. And I definitely want to know what you guys think should be added to that course too. So if you can think of other things that we should add in as far as the handouts and things like that, please let me know. So yes, let me see what else I put on my list to talk about today. Oh, so the blog has been going very, very swimmingly as well. Let's kind of walk through some of the things that are happening there on the blog. I've added some working while homeschooling voices. all of these quotes that I'm picking up from other working while homeschooling families and parents and moms. There's a whole section of that. So I have a brand new one popping out every single week. These are immensely popular, and I do this on purpose, just like with the podcast. I don't want you guys just hearing from me. I want you hearing from everybody. And part of this is just so you can realize that you are not alone out there. When I started this, I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only crazy person doing this, and I wasn't. And I had no idea. So that's part of this. Every Friday, I have interview questions listed so that you can kind of practice your interviewing if that's coming up. What else do we have in blog coming up here? We have all sorts of crazy resources that have gone up. Let me just pull up from the post here so I can tell you about them. So if you want to know kind of what my schedule is for the blog itself, is Mondays, of course, we have the podcast come out. I also have a motivational Monday thought or quote or theme every Monday that also comes out. Tuesdays are my practical day. That's practical tips, and that could be very random. So far this year, we've done an organizational challenge, a paperwork challenge, just to kind of help us get settled around the house. And I'll have some other practical tips coming out this year. We also talk homeschooling. So Tuesday is my day to talk about homeschool curriculum, homeschool advice, homeschool tips, and so on. And one of my goals that I have not got to do a lot of yet on the site, but I'm working on it, is to add a lot more into that homeschool area and get a lot more information listed there. On Wednesday, we have what I call a Work It Wednesdays. So we've been talking about working on Wednesdays. So far I have my Working While Homeschooling Voices coming up. And then also I hope to have more of that, just working tips for mompreneurs coming up on Wednesdays. And also all my videos, which has not happened yet, but I hope to do a lot more of, is to really build the video and the vlogs on YouTube for the site. So those will be coming out every Wednesday. Now Thursdays we're going to be covering job search and anything that is of my products. So job search and career articles will come out, information will come out on Thursdays. Any kind of promoting or information about my products will come out on Thursdays. Fridays, as I mentioned before, I have my favorite interview question Friday listed every single Friday. Saturdays, I hope to highlight and promote our various affiliates and sponsors of the site. And then Sundays are the days I've listed to share any kind of like personal things that are going on, kind of the fun family work-life balance, kind of thoughts, kind of everything else that goes on in your life, the kind of random thoughts by Julie will kind of show up on Sunday. So that is kind of the personal plan I came up with myself. It's kind of slightly overly ambitious, but I just have so much to share. And I'm so excited now that we're settled and I have moderately decent working internet. I can actually do that with you guys. I can actually start to share that. So it's fun for me. I'm going to have a lot more time to do all of that. So let's see. So that's, there's a lot going on the blog, and there are a lot more coming on the blog. Now there's something big happening right now on the blog that I want to make sure to share. If you are a homeschool blogger, okay, we have a brand new blog hop coming out. This is a back to school homeschool hacks blog hop. Now, if everything goes fantastic, and goes well, this will be the first of many blog hops that I will be able to sponsor. But this is our first one. I'm co-sponsoring it with someone else. Hopefully everything goes fantastic. And this is the back to school theme. It will be live the last week of August, so August 26th through September 2nd. So that's the Monday before Labor Day through Labor Day. Because I know a lot of people, you either start in August or you start in September. So we kind of picked the middle. So we'll have a whole week of various bloggers signing up and talking just back to homeschool and homeschool success hacks for that week. And so signups for that blog hop are happening through August 9th. And I'm hoping to get at least 25 homeschool bloggers to join in with us. And we have a nice little crowd that's already begun. So signups through August 9th. So please go on the website and make sure you sign up. Now, if you're listening to the podcast and you're not near, you can't get to the website right now, you can go to workingwhilehomeschooling.com/homeschool-success-hacks. And that should take you directly to the sign up for that. And again, you can do that through August 9th. And then we'll give all the bloggers a week or two or 3 weeks to get set up. And then we'll be live for everyone else who wants to check those out. We'll be live August 26th. And I'm hoping if I figure out how to set it up well enough, again, this is my first time, so I'm making all my mistakes this time. If I set it up well enough, that I'm hoping that every single day will have a different theme. So we'll have a theme for Monday, a theme for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend. So I'm very excited about this. It's going to be fun. And so definitely be sure to check out the Homeschool Success Hacks blog hop back to school theme. Okay. So that's for all my homeschool bloggers. Now I know on the site I have avoided talking about homeschool, working with bloggers up until this point. If you've listened to the kind of first couple of episodes where I was talking about my plans for the podcast, I specifically said I'm avoiding homeschool bloggers because there's enough of that out there, and I'm avoiding networking sales, sales businesses, the direct marketing stuff. However, I've had numerous conversations on both of those topics and requests, and why don't you put this? So I'm going to deal with both of those this year. So I'm going to be adding some homeschooling blogger resources, both affiliate programs and non-free and not, to the website. Some resources if you're thinking about starting a homeschool blog, if you want to if you have a homeschool blog and you want to build it up, if you want to maximize it, if you want to learn how to network with homeschooling bloggers and all that kind of stuff. I plan to add all of those resources this year. I've started to do some research. I have my list of ones that I need to kind of study a little bit more, then I can add them to the site. I have had it in the back of my mind to deal with the direct sales business question. I've kind of keep putting it off, but it is going to happen in the next couple of months. So I plan to do a video. I plan to do a post. I plan to put it everywhere. Again, it's not that I don't like direct sales businesses. I've done at least 3 in my time personally. I've worked with 3 different companies in my time. I have supported many different direct sales business friends of various types by purchasing from them and hosting classes for them and that sort of thing. Here's the thing though guys. Very few of them have a decent business model that is going to guarantee you a paycheck and guarantee you an income, okay? A lot of it is risk. And so we'll talk more about that in the future. My other issue is like, okay, let's say, for example, if I promote one Mary Kay consultant, well, then I have this issue of not promoting every single Mary Kay consultant. And one of the things I've seen happening especially in the groups on Facebook, all of these working while homeschooling groups, they just turn into direct sales advertisements over and over and over and over. And so any brand new homeschooler that comes to these groups, frankly, they think that's all that's available. And that's my whole mission in life, is to show you that there are many ways of doing this. So I'm going to go a deep dive into that this year. I promise it's coming. Don't expect me to promote that on my site though, because there's too many legal pitfalls for me to fall into. First of all, there's also too many moral pitfalls for me to fall into. we'll go into that later. So that's coming. So what else am I talking about? Those are the biggest things. We talked about the resources on the site. We've talked about, we're going to go into, in our next couple of episodes, we're going to talk a lot about homeschool planning, a lot about, mission statements and all things homeschool in the next couple of episodes. I have a long list, actually. I went into the Facebook group. And by the way, if you guys are not in my Facebook group, you should be. So go on Facebook and find my page, Working While Homeschooling, and then join my group. I have it set to private just so people can talk freely in there. But that's it. You have to request to join only because I'm trying to keep out spammers, but that's it. If you're in a you have homeschool listed anywhere on your Facebook page, I just let you join. I don't care. So I'm not real strict with it, but I would love to have you join that Facebook group because I go live in there all the time. But also I asked a question there. I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to talk about on the podcast in season 2? And lots of questions came up. So I have a whole list of your listener questions that I'm going to cover. One of them is going to be the dreaded, what do you do with your kids while you're working question. Single parenting and working. That is, oh goodness, so many questions. So many people are asking me for that. How do you choose curriculum? What should I do? I have no budget. So there's a lot of different things we can do. A lot of different questions that are your listener questions. And if you have topics you want me to cover, I need you to send them to me. So you can email them to me at julie@workingwhilehomeschooling.com, or you can go in my Facebook group and ask me there. And I'll add it to my list of podcast episodes, ideas. And I also do plan to interview more people, working while homeschoolers. Those are some of my most popular episodes. And frankly, those interviews with you guys are my most requested episodes. People ask me, hey, anybody who nurses? And I'm like, I have 4 different episodes with nurses right here. People love that. So nurses, I love you, but I've gotten too many episodes with you in season 1. So I'm going to try to do everybody but nurses this year. Sorry, guys. Just because I'm trying to really expand it and show a wide variety right now. I don't want a whole season just of nursing. No offense, guys. I love you guys, but we just got to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to throw my request out there. I would love to interview someone who is doing the online teaching tutoring. Okay, tutoring kids in English in China, OutSchool, creating their own courses on whatever company. If you do any of that, I want to interview you because I have a lot of requests for more information about that, and I want our listeners to hear from you guys who already do it and are successful at it. So VIP Kids or any of those other little sites that do that, I know there are a bunch. So if you're any of those teachers, okay, please hit me up so we can record a session with you. If you do any of the kind of the side gig work, and I'm thinking like the Uber, Uber's the one that's big in my head, but like the delivering the grocery things, like, what are the companies that do that? I have a list. But any of those kind of things where you're doing the delivery services or the driving, the drop off, the Uber, that can be done randomly. I would really like to talk to you guys if you're doing that with your homeschooling business. I know people who Uber. I don't personally know people who are Ubering and homeschooling at the same time, for example. And I would love to kind of show a little bit more of that side gigness as far as the homeschooling. If you run your own childcare program in your home, so if you keep other people's children, babysitting, childcare, whatever, at your home, and you homeschool at the same time, I'd love to interview you for the podcast because, again, these are just random requests I've had come up, and I'd love to explore and experiment and just kind of share that out. And beyond that, honestly, if anybody would like to be interviewed and tell us about the kind of work you do, again, this is not a paid advertisement, please. However, but if you want to talk about the kind of work you do and how you got into it and share that with others who may be interested, please let me know. Now, on the flip side, if you're a business, a homeschooling business, or so on, and you would like to promote your business, as long as it is not direct sales related, guys, because I'm not letting you recruit through my list. But if you're a homeschooling business and you would like to promote your business and you would like to sponsor a podcast where you are interviewed and promote your services in your business, you are absolutely welcome to. Please email me and I'll give you the sponsor information. Okay? So that is really, in a nutshell, everything I've got right now and my big plan for the year. And so I know everyone is in homeschool planning mode. I am absolutely there too. I have most of it planned now. I have 2 courses that I've decided to make up myself. And of course, I haven't started them yet. I'm supposed to start Monday. Yeah. I don't know why I decided I was going to do that myself, but whatever. Okay. So that's my big plan for the year, guys. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying this episode. I hope it's not too rambly. And I really do look forward to speaking to you all soon in future episodes and really enjoying this season 2 year. So as we wrap up our episode today, I want to thank you all for listening in. There are a ton of great podcasts out there, but you chose to spend your time here with me, and I thank you. Please be sure to check out the show notes for any links to my websites, and make sure you can find all the great ways that you can connect with me online. Now, if you enjoyed today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you would leave me a positive review on whatever site that you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to our podcast so you can hear about future ones. Please, please, please share this with your homeschooling friends. Or, of course, you can do any and all of the above. And if you know someone that you think would be a great guest on my podcast, I would really like to know that. Please let me know by emailing me at julie@workingwhilehomeschooling.com. And remember, you can always reach me through my website at workingwhilehomeschooling.com. Thank you for listening in today. And please join us in our Facebook group for a continuing conversation on today's topic and beyond. And I hope to see you all soon at our next podcast for Working While Homeschooling.